What if dreams could be recorded and played? At first, the idea sounded like a miracle. The scientists at Somnium Labs announced their invention with the same pride as the moon landing, a machine that could capture the electrical signals of the sleeping brain and convert them into visual, audible experiences. For the first time, people could wake up and watch their dreams like movies. The world was stunned. The device, called the lucid recorder, became an overnight obsession. Couples shared their dreams over breakfast. Artists used it to inspire new paintings, writers to capture impossible plots, filmmakers to harvest visions more surreal than any imagination could invent. Dreams were messy, often strange, but they were intimate windows into the hidden self. People laughed at their absurd night worlds, cried at the chance to see long-dead loved ones walking again. But soon, unease crept in. Some dreams weren't harmless. A man discovered his wife dreamt of another man every night. A teenager's dream revealed she hated her parents. Politicians were exposed when their recordings showed fears and desires they could never confess. Dreams became evidence in courtrooms, weapons in breakups, fodder for tabloids. What had once been private now threatened to destroy public lives. Ethan, a quiet technician at Somnium Labs, was one of the first to see the danger. His job was to clean the recordings, cutting out static and anomalies. Most nights he sorted through harmless nonsense, flying cars, talking animals, faceless strangers. But one night he stumbled upon something different. A test subject had recorded a dream in which she walked through a dark corridor and found herself in a laboratory she had never seen before. In the dream, she opened a drawer and found files, real names, real experiments, details that matched classified projects inside Somnium. Ethan froze as he read the dream log. How could she have dreamed something that was secret in the waking world? At first, he dismissed it as coincidence, but then, more came. Another dreamer described meeting a man in a black suit who whispered the company's next product launch information no one outside the boardroom could know. Others dreamed of places they had never visited but which existed exactly as they described, down to the smallest detail. Ethan realized with horror that the lucid recorder wasn't just playing dreams, it was tapping into something larger. He started digging. The brainwaves captured by the machine weren't limited to the individual dreamer. Somehow, they seemed to intersect with others, overlapping like radio frequencies. What people recorded weren't always their own private dreams, they were glimpses into a collective unconscious, fragments of other lives, sometimes even fragments of the future. Ethan couldn't keep it to himself. He tried to warn his supervisors, but they silenced him. This is what makes the lucid recorder valuable, they said. Do you realize what governments would pay to see tomorrow's dreams? That night, Ethan recorded his own sleep for the first time. The playback left him trembling. In the dream, he walked into his office and saw his own body lying on the floor, blood pooling beneath his chair. Behind him stood his boss, holding a gun, whispering, "Some secrets aren't meant to be seen." He woke up drenched in sweat. It was just a dream, he told himself. But when he went to work the next morning, the details matched exactly: the hallways, the shadows, the words on the whiteboard. Each step felt like a countdown. He sat at his desk, his heart pounding, waiting for the impossible scene to play out. But nothing happened. Hours passed. No one shot him. No one whispered. He almost laughed at his own paranoia until he noticed something chilling. His recorder, left plugged in, was still running. He hadn't stopped it the night before. What he had watched wasn't the dream he dreamed. It was the dream of someone else. Someone who wanted him dead. From that moment, Ethan knew the truth. Dreams were no longer private stories. They were messages, signals, warnings. Someone, somewhere, had already looked into his future, and the lucid recorder had shown it to him. He couldn't tell if it was fate or a threat, but he knew one thing with certainty: dreams weren't just recordings, they were a battlefield, and he had already been marked as a target.